What is going on, guys? Welcome everyone back to another Black Ops 3 video. Today what I have is a video regarding supply drops. So this whole supply drop saga, which has been going on for a week or so, has gotten a lot of YouTubers mad, a lot of people on Reddit mad, and definitely a lot of you guys who play Call of Duty very upset because the actual percentage to get a supply drop weapon is very low because you'll open up so many and spend a lot of money, and what you end up getting is actually no weapons but random taunt and random armor that you don't actually need in the game. There's been a lot of people suggesting options for Treyarch and Activision to put in the game to make weapons in supply drops a lot easier for people to obtain. I myself have not spent any money at supply drops whatsoever. I usually just play, get crypto keys, and open up a supply drop, and in all my time getting to Prestige 8 and opening as many supply drops as I can, I still have not got a new rare weapon like a knife or anything like that, which is kind of annoying because I would like one in the future, but I know there's a ton of people who have spent money and they have gotten no weapons whatsoever, which is a shame. So in today's video, what I'm going to be doing is actually looking at 4 options that Treyarch and Activision can implement within supply drops and the game to make everyone happy, and so supply drops become normal. So what I want you guys to do is drop a like on this video, because at the title it says at Treyarch and at Activision. So if you drop it a like, what will actually happen is that it will actually tweet it to Treyarch and Activision to look at, and hopefully this may change their minds on supply drops and it will basically create a better marketplace for everyone. So starting off with the first option, which I thought of, it is to increase the chances of weapons in supply drops to make it easier to obtain. So you can have the normal supply drops, however they will increase the actual weapon percentage of getting a weapon higher up. But the main problem about this is that it still may take forever, or just basically a long time to get a weapon, and to be honest, it really just depends on the luck and when you open it, because you can still spend $80 to $200 to $300 opening up supply drops, even though there is a increased weapon percentage, and you'll still get nothing. So although that may be a good option, it still may not work for people spending lots and lots of money on supply drops. Looking at the second option, this one isn't too bad, but basically what it is that normally what we have is a few supply drops. We obviously have the common supply drop and the rare supply drop. However, there could be another supply drop called a weapon only supply drop, or what a lot of YouTubers have been saying, an arms dealer supply drop, where you open that supply drop and all you get is weapons. Now the bad thing about this is, knowing who Treyarch and Activision are, they are going to somehow make it a lot harder for people to obtain like the flip knife, the butterfly knife, all that type of jazz. They'll probably end up giving you some like common like paint job for your weapon, or a camo or something or other like that, or more or less an optic attachment. I can see them doing that in the future, and to be honest, that option isn't too bad, but once again, knowing Activision and Treyarch, they're going to be doing something a little fishy around that area. Looking at the third option, personally I find this to be my favorite option out of all of them, and that is for season pass players who've pretty much spent the exact same money on the game for the season pass, is that they are allowed to pretty much have all the DLC weapons, which pretty much seems fair and seems logical. However, there's also another problem to this, whereas it's an unfair advantage to people who don't have the supply drop, because as you know, a lot of people don't buy supply drops, they just buy the map pack as they go, or they may not have supply drops at all, and it is an unfair advantage to them, which obviously isn't the best thing. However, I still like this option because people spend, if not the same amount of money on the game, to go ahead and actually get a season pass. So having a weapon or so would be pretty cool. So looking at the last option and the fourth option, I feel that this one would be actually pretty ethical for pretty much everyone who doesn't have money to spend on supply drops, who don't actually have an option to buy a season pass, and it just fits with everyone. And that option is for everyone to pick 2 free weapons from supply drops that they want, whether it be a butterfly knife, a wrench, a crowbar, something like that, and the rest you can get is just from normal supply drops, like a supply drop weapon or something like that. Now the problem about people picking 2 free weapons from supply drops whenever they want, like let's say 2 free weapons a month, or maybe the whole entirety of the game, is that you may not pick a weapon that you actually like, and you're pretty much stuck with a dead weapon that you don't actually want. And what I feel is that if they implemented into this game and they actually used a weapon supply drop with this as well, once again the percentage of actually getting a weapon in a weapon supply drop will be quite low, because once again, knowing Treyarch and Activision, they will definitely change something around that area. So looking at all those 4 options, I do do believe the third option of having the season pass for the players to get all these free weapons is a good idea, but also it has a lot of problems. But I do believe the fourth option entirely is the best and most ethical solution, because everyone is entitled to somewhat some free weapons within the supply drop. Let me know out of all these options which one you would prefer, but most likely let me know in the comments section out of all of these options which one would you like, but more specifically which option would you come up with to solve this whole supply drop saga. So let me know in the comment section down below. It'd be greatly appreciated if you could do me a massive favor and drop a like. That'd be sweet. This will get sent to Treyarch and Activision, so hopefully they can fix their whole supply drop thing, because it definitely is a mess. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you've had a nice day, and I will catch you guys later. Globe out.